Boy, oh boy, I love Bandai Namco. I love Bandai Namco. I love their games. I've been a creator of theirs for years now, literally since covering Bless Unleashed for those veterans here on the channel. But there is a choice they are making with a specific tier of their games that I've seen happen now twice this year, and it's bugging me. And Sword Art Online Echoes of Aincrad is following in these same footsteps. And you guys have already seen, I've already made a video on this topic with Echoes of Aincrad already. But that's just going to dive more into my first impressions, along with, everything else I have to say here in this video about this game. Hello gamers and game mats, what is going on? My name is Tanek027 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video we are going to be talking about Sword Art Online Echoes of Aincrad. However, if you want to stay updated on all things Sword Art Online games, make sure you are liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you are new, and let's go ahead and get on into today's topic. And special thank you and shout out to Bandai Namco for sponsoring this video and hooking me up with a review key of Echoes of Aincrad. In today's video, you guys are seeing gameplay on the Xbox Series S, so do enjoy that gameplay. For what it's worth, the game does run pretty well on the Series S, at least in my opinion. Don't have really too many performance issues, frame drops, or anything like that. But then again, I'm not one of those people that are playing the Series S on a giant 4K TV. Your experience may vary, just a heads up. But Echoes of Aincrad, alright, let's talk about it. First and foremost, I love the story of this game. It's literally taking place in the regular Sword Art Online story. Just the whole beginning, how it starts off. You're in that MMO, and the big guy in charge of it, everything. Just goes all grand evil and tells you guys, hey, we're going to trap you in this game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. All of that stuff is happening in this game, and the storyline and the way they played that out with this is awesome. Bravo. I got to give Bandai credit for that. That was an amazing take, and that's probably one of my favorite things about the game. But that's where my love for the game kind of stops. Now, Echoes of Aincrad is not terrible. The combat's pretty good. The game's a lot of fun. It's definitely has that Souls-like kind of style of play. Stamina, you lose stamina when you attack, dodge, roll, and all that stuff. There's a lot of lock-on, parrying, blocking. There's a bunch of different skills and crazy, flashy anime attacks you can use and stuff like that. But you can tell this game was designed with a Souls-like mindset in mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. I thought that was a cool thing. But once again, this game is suffering the Code Vein 2 syndrome. And I've already talked about that with you guys and everything. And I love Code Vein 2. Don't get me wrong. But this game is called Sword Art Online. Where the hell is the multiplayer, man? Like, most of, if not all of these Sword Art Online games usually have a multiplayer component from what I'm aware of. Why do y'all make a giant open world Souls-like one and then think it's a good idea to remove the multiplayer? That boggles my mind. Now, granted, I know there's going to be some people that argue, look, Tanek, every game doesn't need to have multiplayer and yada, yada, yada. I get that, okay? All right, if you're enjoying the single player experience, good for you. I'm not telling you to hate or dislike the game because there's no multiplayer. I'm telling you it bothers me that there's no multiplayer. One thing that I personally went through in Code Vein 2 when that game first came announced, my good old buddy, codename Tekram, you guys know him as Asylum, and my cousin, we all got together, we saw that trailer, and we all said to each other, we can't wait to make crazy builds and play Code Vein 2 together. Do you know how disappointed I was when I listened to one of those Code Vein 2 interviews and they announced they weren't doing multiplayer this time? Y'all made anime Elden Ring and took out the multiplayer. Why? Now you give us Sword Art Online Elden Ring Edition, and you once again don't include multiplayer. You put a banging story in, pretty good character creation, fun Souls-like combat. Just for for those who are playing this game, I recommend playing it on hard or the hardest difficulty to get the best experience out of it, because in my mind this game feels like a Souls-like, so that's the way I play it, and that's how I enjoy it the most. But to each their own, okay? Just a little suggestion. And like I said, I respect the fact that, the game is following along with the story of the anime and stuff like that. That is great. That is wonderful, and I'm honestly enjoying the hell out of it. That's the one thing, that's really keeping me intrigued into the game, because I'm really curious how it plays out. And not to mention, in this game, you are also the main character. But when I look at it like that, and I'm just like, all right, so why would your main character not want to team up with other players? It just, this game feels like it should have a united multiplayer universe. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it should be like a full on MMO or anything, or anything like that. But just the way things played out in Sword Art Online. How Kirito was like meeting all these people, engaging with different people. Taking on these battles and stuff like that. Why would y'all not want to just add any of that social experience into this game whatsoever? That drives me insane. Now, I could be, the only person out there with this opinion. This could be a terrible take, and hey, if that's the case, let me know in the comments. The dislike button is right there. Feel free to fry me, flame me. But that's my big beef with this game. I feel like this game does mostly everything well right. I like the weapon variety. I like the characters. The voice acting's okay. It's not perfect, but I don't think it's terrible or anything like that either. I like the story. The open world can be a little bit just bland, and a lot of just senseless running some of the time and stuff like that. I'm also not too crazy about how it's everything. Run out, do a fetch quest, come back to the main town and turn it in. Run out, do a fetch quest, go out and back to the main town, turn it. It's an open world game. Let it be open world. You get what I'm saying? But that's really my only beef with it. I feel like this game just should have had a really good multiplayer component. I just feel like there would have been so much more life to it. If there was all kinds of different interactions with other players and stuff like that. And then you got people who are crazy about PvP and wanting to fight and kill other players in the anime. You could have done that in the game with real players. I just I don't know. I feel like there was a great opportunity here, and it wasn't seized. That's that's my opinion. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.